What's going on, everybody? This is Belbaria and
David Mitchell here, and
Voice
Voice
of
of Autism,
Autism.
episode 263. Or are we 1 minute?
Don't ever restart the live stream, please.
I'm not. I'm having a brain fart. It's 263.
Really? Come on, David. I'm good.
Oh no, it's 267. That was oof. Yeah, I had a little bit of a hiccup there for 50 seconds. Oops, sorry guys.
And this is Sophie, my doll that I got from the auction. Last auction event. Yeah. And I'm gonna snuggle her. Because I cut her hair and David was freaking out while I did to cut my
on live stream last week, Val.
Yup, in the look, our hair is so fluffy. See? It looks curly and it's so beautiful. You like it, Sophie? I do. And here come my baby, Hamelina, to the addition of my family of loves. Hamelina, in honor of Denny Hamlin, because look, it color purple because of Denny Hamlin's FedEx.
Did it all Val stuff right here?
And it was, I was just a fun fact. I was just complimenting this item, and you know what? I didn't expect that this two ladies who sell this thing, including the Annabelle dolls, they thought about. I never thought that they're gonna give this to me. And they're also one of the vendors from this fall festival organized by the auction group.
Yep.
So actually last week I did 2 events in one freaking Saturday.
Oh yeah. Val did 2 humongous events. And she earned over $206. Am I right?
Yeah. And Sophie is so cute. Heck, if you guys saw my Facebook account, these 2 little babies are a special one. Of course, I will not replace Frida and Luna. They're my babies too.
Mm-hmm.
And I took both of them as a sign that, I want to work for the auction.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep, now you do get auction work tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like you always do.
Like I always do. And I have a freaking shift. Oh. I'll leave it.
But also, if you guys watched our video blog yesterday, we said some of that Val is finally doing. You want to say it?
I don't want to lie, but sorry, Sophie. But the clue is I am a backline cook at the Hobbies.
Val got a job.
First ever freaking job. I honestly, this is my first ever job. I'm talking about active income, not as a side hustler.
Mm-hmm.
This is the real thing, primary job.
Mm-hmm. Val got a primary job right now.
Not like sides, no sides anymore. But I work on a part-time schedule still.
Meaning, Val won't be working the morning shifts. Am I right?
Yup.
During a breakfast rush.
Yep. I think the manager loved me to do breakfast, even though I'm not a morning person. Because the reason why they got me into working on the breakfast shift, because number one, lunch and dinner, there are a lot of people over, a lot of crew on that both shifts mentioned, but the breakfast not so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the most busiest shift
of the morning.
Morning shifts are extremely busy because there are a lot of travelers who would have to do rush for food. They go for fast food if they don't have much time to cook, That right there, it was the first time I experienced the breakfast rush. So I don't have breaks. But I will get a special, if I don't eat on my break, I don't have any break, then I can get a food with me before I go home, before I clock out. It's just a cute thing. But I'm scared to ask those food. But anyhow, free food, like especially when you work at the fast food chain and you work straight, you can't starve yourself. That's also employees' rights to, you know, deserve a reward each shift that they have, like I do.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a right. That's not bad.
It's not.
That's part of the freaking right for an employee. Uh, and also, yesterday it was deep extreme. We do Halloween last Thursday. Like, I apologize. I slept deeply.
Yeah, we're a little bit sleepy tonight anyway.
I'm not even a morning person, but I have to fight for it. I fight.
And they'll try to adjust everything to morning shift, meaning going to bed earlier at night.
Hmm. And also the main reason why they chose me for the breakfast shift because
Because you're one of the closest one. Because we're only 8 minutes from the Hardys.
yep. And also I like I said, breakfast shifts are not a lot that much. They don't have enough crews to do the breakfast shift, so I am the addition. And I'm not expecting that they'll give me the morning, but I'm okay with the breakfast shift more than the dinner for safety reasons too. Lunch, we do have a lot of people doing that, so morning shift is extremely I'm okay with that so much. I'm loving my schedule. I'm not the person who is, excuse me, David.
Yes.
Like I'm not the type of person that's just like David that's different schedule. No fixed schedule, it does more flexible schedule. But
yeah, that's true.
I'm more of a person that's not into flexible schedules that much, but I'm more of a structured ones. Like Thursday is only for autism group. Okay? Thursdays are for autism groups, which is really like a therapy, that's doctor's appointment technically, but we do it as a group. And also Saturdays, I would have to make sure my second Saturdays, because it's every other Saturday that we did auction. So I would have to be off on one of the Saturdays for the auction weekend, and I'll be back on Sunday. And I am off on Monday, but I am not sure with my next set of schedules because number one, I'm still working on with how to use the Workday app.
And you'll get better at it, Val. You will.
And when I'm sad, I would have to hug this doll. And for the record, when my first 3 days at my job is an open road. It's an open door for me because number one, I would have to deal with different teammates, with different people to mentor me and to give me the command of what to do, what the task to be done. And we do have a shift supervisor in that morning, and she will have to call me, hey, clock in, do the clock in, do the clock out.
Oh, Val, look at this.
I'm happy about it. David, you interrupted me!
It is fall photo with mountain snow in the background.
David, I'm saying something experience. But I suppose not to say it honestly, but I'm just saying some few snippets. But I'm happy. But the best part of my job is like they will ask me how I feel in every shift. Like how do I feel? How's my work? I said everything is good. I don't want to be optimistic that much, but I said everything. I'm very realistic. I said everything's full of challenges. I would have to learn from different people, and I'm surprised that you learn your mistakes. They're not using it against you. They don't use it to weaponize and antagonize you for making a mistake because we all make mistakes, right?
That's so true.
This is the happiest. It's not about like what's this, David? Like I'm surprised that it's all new to me, but I was able to quickly get along with people in my work. But it's just that they're not used to me for a long time, and it's understandable for their part. So,
Because you're all new at it, Val. You're brand new at all of this.
mhm,
With you being a first timer, you know?
mhm. But
Am I right?
yep. But the first timer, as a first timer, don't get me wrong, I'm not being hated right there. I'm not. I'm not being hated. It's just that we need to do our job a lot. You know, we need to do our job first and foremost. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we did.
But you'll get better over time. Trust me, you will.
And I never knew that I am able to quickly adapt. I never knew that I'm a quick learner for them. Because I thought they expected me to be perfect, but they said, no, you don't need to be perfect. We are not perfect. We're not perfect in the eyes of people, but what matters in the job is you are able to commit, put your heart and soul and mind into your job, and making sure that you're open to learn new things, new skills, and everything. Like if they told you to do this, do that, do this, do that, and everything. So I thought they're going to be stricter on me. It's just that I thought I'm because I have the tendency to overthink at the same time. But every time I did my shift, I am hyper focused at the task at hand. So within my job, within my work, I only do stuff. But sometimes I'm being playful. I
Mm.
admit that. I'm being playful because I'm a cook. I'm on the backliner cook, so I have the freedom to, do some little bit of playful stuff. Or as long as I get the job done, as long as I get the job correctly, most of my team has said we're being playful. We're being playful at the kitchen workstation. So we don't want to be standing like a statue and be boring.
Mm-hmm.
It's already boring, so we're gonna make it hype, make it playful.
Got to. It's always good. Am I right?
Yep. My coworkers didn't know that I'm a playful at heart and I do some daydreaming. But I would have to do. I'm a deep thinker, especially when I cook some sausages. Oh, I love
Mm-hmm.
sausages, but I'm embarrassed because I know that some people love it. I love it overall. I don't want to lie. At the same time, I'd love to compliment I thought really, David, honestly, I'm scared when I came to my first ever job, but they told me to take it easy. My manager told me to learn one day at a time. Don't
Mm-hmm.
rush.
Let's have to learn one day at a time.
I think with this second job interview, like second try, because let me do my. I supposed to do it in my vlog, David. I supposed to do it in my YouTube channel. But let me tell it for your live stream, David. Okay? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, but let that for those who are wondering, like, hey, Vel, is this your first time to apply for a job? No. I do, but prior to getting this first ever job, I will have to count how many times that I got rejected. I got rejected in 2015 to be a call center agent. Second, I got to apply for another corporate job that's not a call center related, but promoting a company brand or social media, whatever, if I'm not mistaken. Both are in the Philippines. Same year. I got rejected
I have a
twice.
train going by.
Excuse me, David.
Sorry.
I got rejected twice, and I know it's not the best year at that time because I they know that I'm not really ready for the workplace environment. So I devoted my time more on the side jobs, side hustling jobs, which I did more on the singing side and continuing doing my studies and continuing doing my choir involvement. And fast forward to 2020, I supposed to apply actually 2019 and 2018. I supposed to apply for a job at this cafe where employees are people with autism. Employers are people with autism there in the Philippines. and it's called Puzzle Gourmet. And I supposed to apply for that job after I took my singing gig. I mean, my speaking gig with this Autism Strong PH, now a defunct organization made by young adults for young adults. So first of many that was already defunct after a few years or so. So that opportunity to work at the Puzzle Gourmet is not not didn't come into fruition. Yeah, didn't come into fruition, and it's because somebody prevented me from working there because they said, "Oh, it's far from the house where I live." Choo choo choo. I'm like, okay, I don't want to mention names, but that opportunity to work at the Parcel Gourmet was for me to support myself in being on my own and to be in school and to continue studying for college.
Mhm.
But it didn't come into fruition, like I said. This is in 2019, not in 2018, my bad, 2019. And I have to search for further jobs that were closer to me, closer to my house. And while I am still in searching for a job, I would have to do some group meetings with Amway because it's closer to where I live, and it's just 20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 15 to
Mhm.
20 minutes with traffic.
Okay.
So yeah, excuse me, David.
Sorry.
Um, I even though if I honestly I love to find more jobs there, but I moved to the US and 2020 I have to apply as a receptionist at my aunt's hotel where she worked as a cook, but I never got any call. So this is my that Burbank, that job hunting, that job that I want to apply in Burbank is my first ever job hunting in the US. So after that, lockdown existed in our time in 2020. So I have to use the Indeed app to do the research on doing like babysitting and some stuff in California. But October 2020, I already left California and moved here in South Carolina. And fast forward to 2021, I mean, fast forward to this year, my first ever job hunting experience in South Carolina was doing having a job interview at Belk to become a beauty consultant, but I don't unfortunately didn't get the second round of interview like as promised.
Mhm.
And I believe it's because of the availability, because they want me to be there every day. I believe. And second, I think I think it's not for. I love to become a beauty consultant, but and also I don't have hate for that company. Don't get me wrong, and don't think it that I hate. I love that place. I love Belk because number one of the catwalk for a cause. They sponsored clothes for that catwalk for a cause. Okay, I love Belk so much just because my favorite dresses are there, and my shoes were there. My favorite pants were there. It's just that the job that I wish to apply is somewhat, I think it's not meant for me. I think it was not meant for me. And then after I got rejected from Belk, and I came back to this Indeed app where you can do your job hunting there at Indeed. I applied to several jobs. One is the tropic breeze, if I'm not mistaken. The other one is in Panera Bread, and third is Hardee's. So, of the three, not only those, so I applied to others, like I applied for becoming a consultant for the Xfinity Comcast company, and I got to, I applied to five, which is, I supposed to apply for Ulta Beauty at that time, So how many jobs after Belk rejected me? So there is Panera Bread, there is Tropic Breeze, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a shake, like where they create milkshakes and all sorts of shakes, like juice, tropical juice breeze. Yeah, tropical juice breeze, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. And I applied for Xfinity Comcast. I applied for um Panera Bread, the Tropic Breeze, the Tropic Juice Breeze. I supposed to apply for Ulta Beauty, but I don't. I forgot to do that. And I applied for Hardee's, and also I applied for. I supposed to apply for Starbucks, but there are no further Starbucks near in the place where I live. And I applied for. I supposed to apply for CVS, but they have a standard and stuff. And also the Xfinity Comcast. So of all the four, I never got any message from the Xfinity Comcast for interview. But of all the four, I got one, which is the Hardee's. So the Hardee's management got me to be interviewed last Thursday, and I was in sleepy moment. I felt sleepy. I try my best to be up. I try to fight that like, sleepiness in me because I we came back from class, and we came back from the autism group, and it's a 2 hour drive with traffic with stops. I am talking about two buses overall, and honestly, I don't have any idea. Honestly, it's just that I want to bring because the management wants for what's in an employee is your attitude, your character. They don't like your skills yet. They don't need your skills. They need your heart, your availability to commit, and your commitment overall.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that employer, that the management or your job advisor, career advisor doesn't talk about. I do. Everybody has a skill set, but few are well mannered and well committed. Yeah, like for example, this is what I learned during my interview. Skill sets can be learned in your workplace, either a side job or as a volunteer, but your character, that character and personality, it has to be learned by ourselves first. And it has to start in our family. They gotta teach you how to respect, they teach you how to discipline yourself, and also how to carry yourself accordingly. And that's what I learned in my interview, that be yourself. If you say that you have disability, please be honest about it. Don't be someone that you're not. Because if you're someone that you're not and you're pretend that you don't have a disability, but they found it on the internet that you have disability, you screw yourself up. Don't be ashamed. If you're a disabled person, don't be ashamed. The reaction is up to them already, not your problem. But let me go back to the interview experience. So the interview experience is just it's a very conversational type. And at first, when I look around the environment, I'm like, I'm pretty scared to do this. I'm a shy person. I'm not used to this. And honestly, it's all new to me. The job interviews are not foreign to me, but the workplace environment where I am right now, to the point I started my probation period right away. Oh God, this is so new to me. So I don't expect myself to be a big head. I don't want to bring a big head in me. So during let me go back first to the interview process. So one question that, I mean, of course, describe yourself, and describe yourself, of course, and then One question that resonated me to save time is will you how will you able to follow directions? So I said it will take me. It depends on the situation. It depends on what directions that they're gonna give me. So I know fast food is a fast-paced industry, fast-paced business, and it's also like if you're gonna apply as a cook, you gotta be very, very fast in doing the task. It doesn't have to be too rushy. It doesn't have to be slow either. You gotta be in between. Like you gotta look into the stuff. If they ask you, "Hey Val, hey, we need to cook eggs, cook more sausages, cook more eggs, cook more country ham, cook more biscuits." I mean, make sandwiches. That's that. Plain and
Mhm.
simple. And but the interview, like I said, that's an example. How will you do your instruction? How will you follow instructions? I said it depends, and it depends on what kind of directions. But it will take me 3 weeks to get it. 3 days to get it, my bad. 3 times, my bad. And also, how will I deal with disagreements? So I'm like, this literally resonate me the most is the disagreements and disappointments because number one, a lot of people out here are taking disagreements as if it's a failure, disappointments as a failure. Actually, it's not a failure. Disappointments meaning it's their expression. It's either like for personal disappointment or the constructive disappointment. So, but she brought up about disagreements, not disappointments. My bad. So she asked me, how will I deal with disagreements? So I said, it depends. I'm not the person who is I'm not the person who is being one-sided. I would have to analyze both sides first. I don't want to say my disagreement, excuse me. Sorry about my dull hair. Okay. I don't want to say my disagreements without a further analysis. What's the reason behind the disagreement? I mean, why do you disagree in such thing? So you need to have a backup statement. You need to have proof. What's the reason about your disappointment? You can't just say, "Hey, I disagree with your situation for what why? For what reason?" In my mind I said, "For what reason?" So I said, I am the person when it comes to friends, I thought if I can remember my answer, if when it comes to friends, I because it's also my experience. So I share my experiences about dealing with disagreements with people, different people. If it's with friends, like in a constructive way, if their analysis, if we met analyzing, if analyzing has met with some substantial reason, then I understand already the disagreement. But if they disagree for no reason, it's just useless unless there's proof and the reason.
Mhm.
And she said, "What about with your family?" So with my experience, where even though I said my disagreements, they just shoop, throw it away. Yeah.
That is true.
And also, don't think about. I believe that she brought about that question because disagreements doesn't mean you're a failure, but disagreements happens every day. Disagreements will happen every day, and mistakes happened every day, especially in the fast food industry. And that's true. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that will proceed to my next chapter, the next story of my work experience. So yeah, my husband was there listening since he's
Mhm.
experienced than I do.
Yeah, and I was showing her the loopholes and stuff and what you're supposed to do.
Hmm.
I was showing her stuff what you should do and what you shouldn't do.
I think I wore too formal and belt. And I wore nothing but streetwise outfit, which I'm surprised. That's another thing, another factor. So Actually, Hardee's is actually the second company that gave me an interview,
Mhm.
and the first company to give me a job of all of Belk of both, Belk and Hardee's. They accepted me, and they gave me an interview in an instant. And also, yeah, like I said, this is the first of many. So, like I said, I'm more of a side hustler. I'm a veteran of being a side hustler than my husband does. He's more of the active income,
Mhm.
like a bread and butter type of worker that I do. So I'm more of like side jobs. I'm a veteran of side jobs than he does. He's more on the
True.
primary job than the side job. So we have opposites to attract at this part, at this point.
Mhm.
So with last Monday, I was told to go back and work on my paperwork and everything. It happens. It's challenging, and also she gave me the announcement. She gave me further agenda that even though she has a lot of stuff on the table, she will try her best to accommodate me. She would try her best to keep me abreast, keep me updated with what's gonna happen before I begin my first shift the day that I got hired. So she got me watch the whole video, the orientation video that the archives that this uh, that this company the that this enterprise company of Hardee's does, you know, like got from that they that they do. Of course, they do their mission and vision, their purpose, and also they also discuss the history of Hardee's and also its enterprises and the founders. And as usual, like the job description, I mean, what it's like of working there. And also, this is very important. This is the elephant of the room, the rules and regulations. And especially they're lenient, I mean, they're adamant, especially when it comes to commitment. And my favorite is always commitment, though.
Mhm.
And yeah, as usual, I never had an orientation by mouth, but by video. Because most of the workers out there, most of the crew in the Hardee's on last Monday was a lot busier. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna enjoy myself while I still can. So I have to watch a video and be on my earphones because there are a lot of people are noisier and I cannot focus on what I watched. So I have an hour and 40 minutes because the video is so long and it covers everything from the purpose, the company's vision, mission, purpose, and to the history of the company, how the company was made, was founded. Excuse me, and also their charity, their philanthropical activities, and also employment rules and regulations, ranging from appearances
Mhm.
to work ethic, and also the elephant of the room right here in the employment disciplinary order is the freaking violations, for which it is very scared, very very scared, especially you're going to do a 90-day probation period. This is the scariest part, especially myself. I am new to this kind of thing, and I started after the orientation day. I started my shift right away on October 18th, and it's understandable because they do have actually a prescribed uniform, but it's not like a chef's uniform, but a t-shirt. Hardee's uniform is a t-shirt here in our Hardee's. So it is understandable for someone who is newly hired that we don't have t-shirt, but I already acquired an apron and a hat.
Mhm. You want to show the hat?
Media policy.
Oh, all right. That understandable.
How I wish David. I don't want to say. I don't want to say my. I will say my experience, but I cannot show it because of the media policy. But yeah, for the record, guys, if you guys want to vlog at Hardy's restaurant, we cannot do it. It's because of the media policy.
And the
And
only people who can do it are the people who don't work there. Am I right?
yeah, but you can do it outside the premises. That's fine. But you can do it not doing it in the premises. I forgot that. Yeah, because I got a note from the manager saying don't do that. This is a media policy. Because I don't want. I'm not in the position to say it, but to avoid controversies, to avoid bad
Yeah,
stories.
because the reason why was because of something that happened a couple of years ago with some employee who quit. But yeah, but
But we just don't want to put the brand into a bad name. That's in short. But to be honest, I wish I could have a picture of myself in an apron inside the workstation, but for not right now because I'm under a shift, under a duty, and we gotta keep the work done. Unless it's like for an interview for an autism group, but no, for right now, I am not secured because I am still on my 90-day probation period. So technically, it's a mixture of training, a mixture of like trial period. They said to see the in general probation period meaning 90 days of like trial period if you love the job, if you're able to fit in with your coworkers, and if you were able to do the task at hand correctly. But it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, nobody's perfect, especially in employment. you know
mm-hmm.
if you did the job, if you have the heart to do this, because that's what they want in an employee after 90 days. But in my case, I don't want to say it, honestly. Has to be between me and myself and I, but I just don't want to say it, David. But I am told that after my 90 days, there will be an assessment, overall assessment. And if they felt that they're okay, they felt that they're confident about me, they're confident about having me, then it's a go go. And then it's gonna be, I don't want to say it because I don't want to disappoint everybody. So I don't want to brag it. If I get the 90 days consistent with full commitment and full consistency and continuous consistency. So the consistency meaning you're not only good at what you're doing, you're good in being around with people as well.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, we don't talk that much during the workplace because we're focusing more on the job. And yeah, and hands on to our activity, our jobs, our work, because especially we're dealing with the breakfast rush and we're dealing with the customers who would change their minds the last minute. So yeah, so they said after 90 days, if they found that I'm fine, in God's mercy, they're going to give me a salary raise. And actually, probation period in other companies is like if you're
About 6 months.
uh, yeah, but in Hardest it's not 6 months. We don't count it for month as in months, but we count as days. In Hardest, we do 90-day probation period. So from October 18th to November 18th, that marks a month already. And that marks like, yeah, 30 days. Then another 30 days, then another 30 days. So I'm praying to God that I'll be able to pass all 30 days. So I'm trying to be careful also with, the offenses. But each day of my shift, employees and the manager and the supervisors are giving me pointers. And I never thought that they would understand me because and they don't want to and they don't expect they don't want of course I'm not like it doesn't take rocket science to know everything in the workplace after what since you only just work for 3 days. Actually it takes more months to 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 put it into your skull.
Yep.
It's just like a matter of repetition. Like if they correct you and you don't outsmart them, that is response. That right there is respectful.
Also,
That's what I learned also in this, you know.
do you want to talk about the Halloween party next week?
Ugh.
Because me and Vel, we already got what we're wearing. It's just that I need to find my flannel shirt, the one with the cross in the colors. I could do the brown one for lumberjack theme, werewolf lumberjack.
Mm.
Hmm. We might make a skit on that for my YouTube channel,
Oh
like
god.
a werewolf lumberjack. Because ironically, we do have an axe outside,
Oh boy.
so you might see a little short with word werewolf lumberjack.
Oh my god. You don't want me to do the gown. I'm making sure that. But let me go back to the job. That's a commercial break. So let me go back to the job experience. So originally, I cannot say the scope of what is discussed between me and my manager. But you forced me to do this, and you pushed me to do this. In your mind, like, please say more, David Valley Poo. Say it, say it, say it, say it. But you know, I hope you. I hope you shared also what you have in Walmart, like what your manager told you to.
We have up and downs too. Like
No, did you share that on what you and your manager, like what your manager discussed to you between you and her and or him?
about
Remember when you get your job at Walmart, the first weeks of your shift?
oh yeah that
Did you share all of that, like what I did today?
yes about the work and stuff like and seeing it how our Walmart operated different.
Like than it was in Hardee's.
Yes.
But for the record, you know, I love my coworkers so much to death, and the reason why being is if I'm looking for a job that not only showed my skills but also to showcase my true self, to show my confidence in myself, like to show my friendly and congeniality side of me. So most of my coworkers from the morning shift are like motherly love, family love, but at the same time, we put our work first and foremost. If someone said, Val, you gotta do the Val, can you do that? Val, gotta do that. That's the manager's role right there because we're making sure that we try to make sure that we get very smooth, performance task at hand. Making sure that we don't slack around, but in my case, I never knew that they understand because like I said, this is really a first of many. I'm not an experienced worker.
And you're a first timer.
So I was doubting myself on my first 2 days of shift. Like I'm scared. I'm literally sad. Like, do are they mad at me if I made a mistake? Are they gonna get mad at me if I'm a first timer? But I'm not surprised. I'm very surprised that they're the ones who checked on me, even though they're not my family, but they treated me one.
You'll have people look up for you, but yeah.
But that's a big plus. That if your employee looks out for you, hey, are you okay? Happening, hey, everything good? That right there is a very nice indication. That's a very good indication that your employer and your manager looks out for you big time.
Yep.
At the same time, they teach you things. At the same time, they help you. And the happiest thing I had was I requested to change it into 6 a.m., like 5:45 to 6 a.m. range because on the ride, I have an issue with the transportation. In God's mercy, how I wish I could drive, but due to the policy of the state, I can't do that without a state ID. I love to drive so bad, so I could not depend on everybody else.
And you're going to drive with a permit for because in order to get a driver license, you would have to charge a permit.
Yep.
So yeah, with
Which kind of a lot big time, but I can learn in advance without the permit
mm-hmm.
for it now and the visuals first. But hold on, David. But yeah, like what makes me happy is
I'm
that sorry.
scratching my head.
What's the happiest part of it? Like I'm emotional inside while I was at the job. Is when my manager talked to me that, are you comfortable with your schedule? I said some days I can't work because of Thursdays are class days. Saturdays, there's some Saturday that I have to attend for the auction because I'm a volunteer there on the side. This is my side job. But I'm not gonna talk about that, but this is just a side note. So it will be in a separate one. So I suppose to say the same thing I said to you guys on the podcast for my YouTube channel, but I'll have to try my best to keep up with my thoughts. But the happiest thing I have, the happiest gift that I have is nothing materialistic, but emotionally, she literally helped me feel comfortable around my shift, around my schedules. And she said one thing that I will never forget, that she said, as long as I that work hard, as long as you put your efforts and let me learn. Let me learn. Let me learn. And you learn, you never stop learning. And she said, like, to the point that she would love to learn more about, mutually, like we learn together. That's her goal, is that, if I can remember what she said. So I remember she said, let me learn.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, like, let me learn. Like we're mutually learning it with one another.
And that's so true because you learn every day. Am I right?
And one thing, yep. And one thing she said to me, like I literally said, this is the first of many, and she understood. And she said, one day at a time. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need a rush. Take it one day at a time. And this is the biggest gift I ever had in my damn life. As a
Mm-hmm.
first time worker in a regular job, and I'm happy.
Yep, and it's your first time ever.
I thought that I'm gonna cry on my first week. I thought I'm gonna suffer, but I don't know why. I think God has provided the I think God has provided me this wonderful people. Even though it's just 3 days of my shift. This is actually Sunday's gonna be my fourth day. But my
Mm-hmm.
goal is to keep the consistency going. And she expected me to be more consistent, not only in what I do, is also consistent in learning and consistent with dealing with criticism, not bad criticism, but also tips, advice, reminders, like keep my mind and heart open.
And it big learning Val. It like you learn a lot
This is the kind of job that I want. Is I want to learn, not to be a know-it-all, not to act like I'm something I'm not.
because you're constantly learning. Am I right?
I'm the type of person who is keeping the consistency when it comes to learning, when it comes to improving. That excuse your excuse
Sorry, Val.
your excuse, but that I will never stop learning, because we learn every day by day, time to time, second to second.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody is even perfect. Even though I want to become a Renaissance woman, though I
True.
want to be involved with anything, but like I said, I'm so glad that I want to continue learning, even though it's a beginner, like a 90-day probation. I will treat it as if this is a learning curve. But like I said, deep down inside, David, I have my biggest fear. I hope my job there goes well.
And it will, Val. You will do well. Like you had the same feeling I had when I started at work. But yeah.
But I think God has redirected me to be in Hardee's.
Yeah, but.
That's the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew Hardee's until 2019 of December, because my friend introduced me to Hardee's. Like, what is Hardee's? Like, Oh, this is because I have a paper bag right there in my file. Hardee's. Because my friend has autism. Her stepdad gave me a treat. Like what? Oh, Hardy. So I took it as a sign. So I keep the paper bag, and then keep it for a long time. And David, can I tell you something about the flashbacks
Mm.
that gave me a sign to work at Hardee's? And it's fast forward, that paper that I have that I kept for a long time. It's in my folder. I never forget it. I hope I didn't discard it because it's my friend Hannah who gave me a short letter, short love letter, friendly letter. Because I've been with Hannah before the COVID outbreak happened. She was one of my friends in California before I got into the choir. And I know she's a busy person because she attended classes as well. And I'm so happy that Hardee's was introduced to me by her stepdad. And I kept it. And then fast forward, when my aunt taught me how to bake, my aunt taught me how to cook, and my aunt told me how to bake cookies, banana bread, all sorts. Like what did I do? What am I doing here? Why am I doing this? Like this is not even my forte, but I'm not comfortable. But it made me more great. It made me more strong and confident. I never had this when I was in the Philippines. The ones who cooks food is mostly my sister or my grandma. Sometimes my dad and my mom. Sometimes, mostly. But when I began showing my skills in baking during the pandemic, I did I did I did I do have the confidence in me. It makes me boost my confidence and improve myself even more when it comes to do life skills like this. And also, I put my baking skills to the my cooking skills to the test. Like when I make Cook Sisters, which is a South African snack, and this
Heck,
is
with I tried it, and that was good too, Bill. Like I remember when you shared that with me. Like, heck, I could get enough of that.
and also when Lexi said Lexi said that, oh, your wife is on top of the charts.
Also, my mom used to hate carrot cake until you made carrot cake, and she tried it. Like, oh my god.
Not only with those baking stuff that I did, it's also about my aunt letting me answer that series of exams to get her license in the cook renewed because she said she has a kitchen course that she has to do by her manager whom interviewed me before, the same person who interviewed me in my first job hunt in California.
Mm.
And I'm like, why did my aunt let me answer this? I'm not even doing that, but maybe she wants me to learn the same thing she did. She wants to share the opportunity she had to me. And she renewed her kitchen license in 2020. The kitchen license, by the way, is like if you want to work at, for example, at Hooters, if you want to do the bartender, or if you want to work at Hardee's, even though they're not requiring you to do that. Well, oh, I hope I didn't offend them what I shared today. But like I said, overall, Hardee's gave me so much positivity when I'm sad. Yeah, it gives me confidence. Yeah. So let me go back to my flashbacks. My aunt was giving me this like, oh, I got to write it down, blah blah blah. What what I've learned from the kitchen course, and of course, kitchen course is requirement to those who will do the backline cooking or becoming a bartender or something restaurant food related. Food or restaurant related. You can work in the hotel. Actually, hotels are strict for that, and also uh, sports bars are strict on that because you gotta make sure you got a license to do the liquors, to the bartender work, and also to do the cook because they will have to make sure that you have the skills and you have the purpose.
Well, did something else. I'm saying, like, you will have to deal with customer too. Like,
I'm not in the front
oh yeah,
lines.
that right. You're
I
in the
don't
back.
work at the front lines.
Okay, well,
But I only work at the back lines. So I am no stranger with customers doing their mind change. You know where I get it? The manager, or the
Mm-hmm.
supervisor. So I
You're
I can I can sense their, their pressure. If they're pressured, I she didn't know that I'm also observant. So if, like, oh, she's doing pressure, she has pressure, so there's no breaks. So this is the first day that I have no breaks. 4 hours straight. Hold on. 4 hours straight, no breaks. Comparing to 2 days of two first 2 days of my shift, I want to have a water break. I want to have a food break. But since I only have 5 hour and 4 hour break, 4 hour shifts right now, I think I would have to challenge myself to work straight, because that's not so much for me.
mm-hmm.
In my books, this is not so much for me, because before at the end of my shift, I can get free food because I never ate during my break. So it's understandable. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
only have 4 hour shift, and then after that, I clock out. I asked my supervisor if I can get free food because I never ate because I work straight, which is kind of cute. Maybe I think I will have to do the work straight. Maybe my goal is to eat a lot before I clock in. And
Not a lot. Don't eat too
no,
much.
like, I don't want to get hungry because I'm being
But
tempted.
you don't want to start gaining.
Bloating.
Yeah, and so you don't want to start gaining weight
Ugh.
because you are working on losing weight. Am I right?
Yep. And do you want to tell about the but yeah, but I,
But
like I said in Hardee's, if I'm gonna continue working, I mean, for right now, this is my who 87 days to go.
mm,
I'm counting the days. I would I'm doubting myself right now. I'm really hard on myself
uh,
right now. But a part of me saying is, enjoy your work. Don't pressure yourself. Do your job. Be committed to it, because they are seeing your character firsthand. That's what really the
mm-hmm.
90 days is really for. Not just your skills. Not just the skills. I mean, the skill comes second. The character comes really number one. Like, if you're enjoyable to work with, but of course they will not enjoyable to work with in terms of adaptability, of course. Like, if you're listening, you're a good listener, if you're a good communicator, like, if something, for example, the gravy is already, we're running out of gravy, we're running out of egg, yeah, we're helping together. This is the kind of environment that I want, David. This is the company that I want. Helping each other, not pulling each other down, not hating each other, because we're living in the world of hatred now.
That's true.
I think, you know, but let me proceed to the ANN part, where
The last thing we got before we go to bed.
the elephant in the room in our live stream actually is the ANN Halloween party.
Oh yeah, we are doing a Halloween party next week in group. So I'm going to go like as a werewolf lumberjack,
Mhm.
which what I said earlier. I'm probably going to try to do a YouTube short when I get back home with that, wearing having the axe behind my back and wearing a mat with a vinyl shirt on and blue jeans
Mhm.
to make myself look like a werewolf lumberjack,
Mhm.
werewolf stort.
Yep.
So that's going to be interesting because that's a little project check that I'm probably going to try to work on. But it's been a little interesting.
And also, I want to get myself, like, making sure that my gown that I have here behind me is fit. It fits. It fits. It's just that it is just tight, but it fit very well to me.
Mm-hmm.
So the clue is the color of the gown that I would have done, that I could have done wearing in our wedding, but it didn't come into fruition. So this is I'm gonna wear, like, I'm gonna pay tribute to both Gigi Hadid's and Audrey Hepburn's Funny Girl themed outfit. So that the reason I one is the bangs that I have here. So worthy of the Audrey Hepburn Funny Girl era, with red gown that she wore in Funny Girl. So she's not only wearing all black spandex or body cat, like a bodysuit, but she's also known for wearing this
Mm-hmm.
red gown that was also replicated by Gigi Hadid. Yeah, Bella Hadid. My bad. I hope, yeah, Bella Hadid. My bad. Not Gigi Hadid. She's much. Her face is different from by her. Bella Hadid, my bad. Bella Hadid also sported a Audrey Hepburn themed gown, and that inspired me to do that because, like I said, this the hairstyle I got is Audrey Hepburn ish, and I got a bun with me behind me, right there in
Mhm.
the box, but I cannot open it right now. But I'm praying to God that this gown right here is fit me. And I would have to talk to you about it if I can wear it for the whole day because it's Halloween.
Oh yeah, you can. But yeah, but that all we have to do for tonight. Am I right? But
Yes.
I hope y'all enjoyed the live stream. But
Yeah.
it's been a good night.
Snuggle.
I hope y'all enjoyed it. That got me again.
Talk to you guys
Have a night, night, guys.
Bye.
Bye. The